Awesome. All right. Did you want to intro it off, or should I just go ahead and go right into the demo?
Just jump in.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about KDP, and that's an exciting space too because it's digital products, especially if you're doing ebooks. But of course, you have the opportunity now with Kindle to do paperback and hardback. So I do self-publish as well. And so I can tell you a little bit about what it's like to do research with and without tools. And I'll tell you, it really helps to have software specifically that allows you to find good keywords that will allow you to index and rank for the keywords you want to be indexing and ranking for. Now, what's a really useful thing before you even publish your book is doing competitor research. So go in, of course, you could go into the bestsellers list, go into the different categories, subcategories, and all that stuff to find books that you might want to emulate. But of course, once you found a good niche, you can go in and start taking a deeper look at these books. So let's say that I ended up finding this book right here, which is A Champion's Mindset. The Fighter Within, it's by Chad George. And we can take a look and see that he has some HTML just to get some things bolded here. And then if you go down, you can grab the ASIN, or even if you have the Chrome extension installed, which if you don't have it installed, go to helium10.com. That's HELIUM 10.com/extension. And you'll be able to download it for free, which then will allow you with on-browser access for 6 different tools plus alerts. Now, alerts, a lot of the software suite tools are made for private label sellers, but there are quite a few that work really well for KDP as well. And with the Chrome extension, you can go ahead, click View More, and just grab the ASIN fairly fast. Go into Cerebro, into your Helium 10 account, click Tools when you're on your dashboard, and then go into this section right here that says Keyword Research. Now, there are 2 keyword research tools that we have. We have Cerebro, which is our reverse ASIN product lookup, meaning when you are on a product listing page and you are grabbing this ASIN right here, the product identifier, or even from the product details section right here, you can grab that, input it into the search paneling of Cerebro, and enter up to 20 product identifiers. So let's say instead of a product listing, you're looking at a niche. You can go in, select several different ASIN identifiers, click Get Keywords, and it's going to show you all of those different keywords that that book is showing up for, which of course is really useful for quite a few things. So that comes down to your keyword and indexing opportunities. It goes down into how well you optimize your listing, what that book cover looks like. So I even go as far as doing this when I'm coming up with my book. When you're coming up with your book, let's say you're looking at a niche you didn't know what to write before, but let's say you found a niche that you felt was profitable. Well, what if I know nothing about that actual niche? What if this is something about nutrition and I didn't know the first thing about maybe bodybuilding? Then I could go in, find some books that are relevant, start taking a look at the keywords, and actually even come up with book titles based off what people are searching. And so this is a great way to really get into your consumers' shoes and write things that they are already looking for, that all you have to do after that is get in front of those consumers. And so you can, when you start drafting your book titles, your book chapters around that, then your indexing becomes even more relevant because you talked about it in your book, right? And of course, like I said, this also works for your images. Well, your one specific image for a book cover, because now you can go in and see that maybe there's quite a few keywords here that have to do, like, for example, this one's a champion's mindset, right? So what sort of relevance do we have? We have think like a monk, we have mindset coach, we have I am champion, tough conversations, high performance mindset. We have young wrestling book. So maybe I can start to even niche down and say, all right, well, like, what is the search volume on this right here? New Mindset Journal 138, 1,235. I can just start to find really, I'm looking at Cerebral IQ score. That's not even the column I'm supposed to be looking at. This one right here. All right. So 8,642 for Ryan Holiday. Of course, that's an author. This one's quite broad, mindset. I like to go, you guys, you're going to want to go in and start looking at the ones that are 2 keywords or more. Now, when it comes to KDP, your 2 keywords might still be an author, but typically the longer tail keywords get you a lot more specific results. KDP, I like to play it right in between. So you have some keywords that are a little bit more broad, like mindset, as we saw, but then others are a lot more specific. So you have something that's like art and fear, or you have, you know, I just saw it somewhere right here. We have art and fear twice, art of fighting. You have art of intimacy, you have the high performance mindset. So you can start niching down and start to find a book maybe that does cater to the high performance mindset. So what does that really look like? You can start making different iterations, split testing them, and see how well your listing is optimizing and converting based off the research that you're doing inside of Cerebro. Now, I did mention there was 2. So just before I get into Cerebro even more, let's talk about Magnet. Magnet is our keyword for keyword research tool. So if you input a seed keyword, let's say that my book, A Champion's Mindset, I feel it's most relevant to the keyword high performance mindset that we saw. So if I type that in and I click get keywords, you'll see it does something really similar to Cerebro, which is give me an output of additional keywords that are relevant to this keyword that I typed in. Now, as you can see here, it's a little bit more broad because we typed in the high performance mindset, and it's not based on specific ASINs. So now it's just giving me just about anything relevant. So this will require you to filter information down. And let's say we wanted to go in, see that at least 300 people are searching for it, or maybe you want to go higher, or 600, you know, at least 2 searches a day, every single day for a month. And then maybe I want to have mind, and click apply filters, see if it gets too narrow. There you have it. So you have 10 filtered keywords, but I see a lot of these are Silva mind control. So this seems like a book. And then maybe I can go in and say, all right, maybe I don't want something just containing phrases containing, maybe I want to go into competing products. But what I encourage you to do is go in and find different keywords that you feel are relevant for your book, but are going to also be searched for. So that way you can start creating a great combination of things to center your book topics around, to include in your listing so you can start organically ranking for these keywords. And then, of course, you can also create folders for any keywords you want to run advertising campaigns on. Now, a lot of information is provided here. So here you can see that even based off the one ASIN, we have 207 paid searches, meaning this person, you know, for this book could be running broad match campaigns. And of course, if this was a lot more narrow, then you might even be looking at an author's exact match campaign. So you could go in and start taking a look at which keywords are they ranking for based off of their specific keyword distribution. Now, we also have the word frequency. So how many times a specific word is appearing for these keyword results. Book is appearing 88 times. Of course, we know that because we inputted an ebook. We have mind, mindset, free, running, martial arts, body. So maybe I can start seeing that if there's quite a few with martial arts, I want to start building a mindset book specifically geared towards people who are in the martial arts space. But again, these are just ideas. And I encourage you to go in, do a lot more research. And what I mean by that is really validate that idea. You can go into Amazon and take a look at your different niches. You can type in, you can open up some of these words, right? So for example, where is that high performance? So this, I'm assuming, is going to be, yeah, there you have it. So this is a brand new book. I don't actually think this one is necessarily in accordance. This is a brand new book. So I wonder if somebody just went in and said, all right, this keyword is decent, because look at these reviews, guys. There's only 2 reviews, 22 reviews. They're not super high. There's only 1 review. So I wonder if this is just a newer keyword. You have high performance habits, science of mental toughness, but these reviews are quite young. And I always like seeing that there's less reviews, because when you're going in, you're going to have 0 reviews, right? You're going to want to be able to index really high, but also compete really well. And then I start looking at the covers. I mean, there is so much that you can really optimize and even use these keywords on. So let's talk about a little bit about some of these other columns that you're seeing here. We do have CPR number, which is how many units you would want to be selling on a day-to-day basis to be ranking on page 1, on the top half of page 1 for that specific keyword. So this means that if I have 8, I only need to sell about 1 book a day to be ranking on the first page of this keyword. You also have title density. So how many of these products on page 1? So for example, when I was on this page, how many products here have this specific keyword in their title? So if I were to open the winner within up, then it's unlikely that all the products on that first page have this directly in that same phrase form in the title. You also have your organic ranking. You have your sponsored ranking. So this book doesn't have any sort of sponsored rank for this keyword. But as you can see, they are running sponsored ads for this one, and they're ranking in position 20, roughly, over the last 30 days for Darren Donnelly books. So this is interesting because now you can start finding maybe the author for this product is not relevant, but they're starting to find the parallelism for books that might be similar, and they're running ads for those books. So that's a great thing to keep in mind. Maybe you want to find books that are similar and start running targeting ads for that. Now, what happens if I want to go in and take a look at how many sales are being made on average per keyword? So this is telling me that there are about 6 sales happening per keyword. I can go in, I can start to find, either the higher keyword sales or the lower keyword sales. Maybe I can look at this and say, all right, there's too many sales happening. Somebody's looking for something very specific. I actually have brand registry on this account, so I can even see the click share. This means that if I click this, it's telling me the top 2 books. Actually, all 3 of the books are Jay Shetty's books, but you can see that most of the people, 62% of the people, are actually clicking this first one, and 21%. So 88%, excuse me, of people are already just clicking on Think Like a Monk. So maybe this is a keyword I don't really want to run any ads on, because even if I'm creating a book on mindset, Think Like a Monk is the leading ASIN for this specific keyword. And they are converting almost 70% of those 88% clicks. And so I don't want to necessarily go in and be spending my money on a keyword that already has people looking for a very specific thing. So maybe I don't want that, and I can just click the little trash icon. This one is the same thing. So 80% with 71%. Now, you guys, you do have to be brand registered to get these 2 columns, but it is really interesting data because now you can start seeing which keywords other books are already getting the main market share for. So you can just go in and say, all right, I don't want these. Or you can see something like this that says 26% of click share and only 10 people are converting. So even though you would think Joe Rogan book recommendations, maybe they are looking for something very specific. People are listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, assuming they'll find keywords books out of it, right? And you're thinking, oh, well, this isn't maybe something I should advertise for. But then again, check this out. Only 26% of these top 3 clicked ASINs have the actual share, of which only 6% are converting. So maybe if you did go in there and you did actually start sponsoring ads for this or running organic ads, or maybe you even included this on the back end, right? Your 7 keyword searches that you're given in the back of KDP, you can go in and maybe input something like this. Although I recommend being really, really smart with those 7 keywords. Of course, you want to optimize for space. But if this is something that you want to maybe split test, this could be one of those things. You have 886 searches and still 86 keyword sales coming out of this keyword. And yet the top 3 clicked ASINs are only 26%, of which 10% are converting. So this could be an interesting keyword to potentially test. And that is how I recommend you look at brand analytics, is start to, if you do have brand registry and you do have it connected to your Helium 10 account, your interface, then you can start taking a look at that stuff. And then let's say that you have found specific keywords. I'm just going to, for the sake of time, highlight these. Click add to my list, create a new folder. Go ahead and put in a folder name, click save if you don't have one, but if you do already have one, or even if after you create one, you can just go in and click create new folder. All right, guys. So I accidentally added those to vegan protein. I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm going to hope. Let me see if there's a better. All right. So let's just say I put in tea. And I'm just randomly doing that. You guys can get specific about labeling. All right, so 47 keywords added to the folder T. And you'll be able to find that right here underneath keyword research where you have my list keywords. Okay. After that, let's say that you have optimized your keyword selection. You can go into Listing Builder. And what I love about Listing Builder is because you have such limited space on these listings on Amazon, you can click add a listing, click either optimize from listing or create from scratch. I'm going to click create from scratch and click start building or enter an ASIN. I'm going to click start building, and you can add keywords 3 different ways. All right. When you go in right here, you can see that I have my keyword list already right here, 47 keywords, add to bank. And then once I have done that right here, you can either click next, you can select several different folders if you would like. You can go into get keyword suggestions, input in a competitor ASIN, click get keywords. But I really would say that you guys should do the keyword research within Cerebro and Magnet, build your folders there because you get a lot more information. As you can see right here, you have access to your number of products, your CPR, and your search volume. But once again, CPR is how many units you have to give away every day after 8 days to really rank at the top of page 1. So if I had, let's say, 27, I want to do any sort of giveaways over the course of 8 days, then I could pause my campaigns after 3 to 4 units sell every day, and I would be ranking on page 1 at the end of day 8. Or you can go and manually add keywords. Let's say we were having a conversation about mindset, and you said something to me that was super valuable. I said, I wonder if people are searching for it. You can input that in as a keyword and it will show you this information right here. I'm going to go ahead and click next. And this is where I think you guys should really take advantage of all the information that's present here and build out your listing. Because on the left-hand side, you have access to a keywords bank and phrases. So this is going to put it in word form as well as phrase form, and then put it in color coordination of what is most searched for or what words show up most frequently. So as you can see, words are sorted by word frequency and phrases are sorted by search volume. And as I'm building this out, let's say, because like I said before, a lot of Helium 10 tools are made for private label, but you can go in and edit this because I know in Kindle, right, you only have access to 4,000 characters. So you can adjust your byte limit right here. And then even just, let's say for the 7 keywords, right, you start selecting them after you've written your product description. You can input them here just to make sure that there's no overlap, or maybe you do want to see a certain keyword used a few times. And then at the bottom, you have your listing analysis score. Now, again, a lot of these are best practices for private label sellers. So people that are selling actual products, physical products that are not ebooks or not paperback hardcover through Kindle. But a lot of it is still, like, for example, generated search volume will still help you because it's telling me that from all these keywords, my generated search volume is about 38,000. And so I'm going to do my best to hit that limit. All right. I'm going to try to get it as high, as great as I can possibly get it. Now, your listing quality score is not going to be 10 out of 10 because, again, we're not using the product title, the bullet points, all that stuff. But again, this is going to show me that, let's say, I'm going to show this to you right here. Now, a lot of these are authors or specific book titles right here. But if I am writing a book on mindset, for example, mindset ebook, I could still use that, right? I can go in and type in mindset ebook and then maybe use some of these words here. You can see it's starting to get crossed out. It says 1, but if I had it used multiple times, it would tell me that you have mindset ebook for, let's say, warriors who, let's see, what else do we have? Who enjoy fighting for whatever, right? I'm not gonna sit here and take a lot of time on this because this is an example for you guys. But as you can see, it is crossing out the words and it is starting to generate some search volume for me. This is telling me that I have 4,000 search volume just based off of these 2 keywords that I inputted that we found inside of Cerebro. And so you'll want to go through and actually try to use the red ones, the orange ones. I mean, all of them are hopefully going to be super relevant and good keywords because you took your time on Cerebro and Magnet doing your keyword research. But as you go in, you can start to really make sure you're getting the most out of the keyword bank. Now, those of you guys that are already on a diamond plan, let's say with Helium 10, then you have access to the AI tool as well, which you can go in, input some of your product characteristics, your ebook characteristics, or your paperback hardcover. Put in a brand name if you would want, but again, I don't typically do any brand names for my books. You have your product name, so what you want to name your actual book, your target audience, your any special characters to avoid, and you can click write it for me, and it'll give you a good example, a good starting point for your actual product description. So it'll write the whole thing for you, and you can go in and just kind of optimize and make it sound more understandable, more appeal to the actual person that's reading it, and then click finish. Now, I see that we're sort of, I think, about to hit time. And so I'm just going to transition over into keyword tracker. All right. So we talked a little bit about doing keyword research. We talked about how to put together that listing once you have some keywords set. Well, how do we really go in and we actually track some of these keywords? Because afterwards, we're going to want to actually see that we're tracking it. You can click add new product, put in the ASIN, and then I would input in your keywords. You can input them in from an ASIN if you have that connected, but you can also click upload keywords from your list or copy and paste them over. All right. And once you do that, you can click start tracking. And you'll see that, and I'm just opening this up. This is not a book right here, but I just want you to see exactly what this tool does. And this does work for books. So here you have different keywords. You can add a note. So let's say I started running a promotion, or maybe I paid for a blogging site to actually have my book somewhere, right? You can say, all right, on like 7/18, I ran a discount with BookBeam or something like that, right? And add in that note so you know which words you feel are going to be most relevant and you're trying to track the differences. You have your search volume. You can click that to see historical information of how that search volume has changed. You actually have access to historical information inside of Cerebro as well. It's just the little graph icon right next to search volume. Then you have CPR number, which we talked about. You have your number of competing products. So if I was on this specific results page, then right here it says over 1,000, and that's what I would be looking at. You have your organic rank, so it's going to tell you where your book is ranking organically, as well as sponsored if you're running any sponsored and you want to just track that, as long as you've inputted that keyword in, excuse me. And then keyword sales. Now, if you wanted, this is going to check once a day, every day, but Amazon updates quite frequently. So if you wanted, you could also turn boost on, which is just going to tell me that every single hour on the hour, this ranking is going to be updated for 10 days. And then if you wanted to redo that, you can just stop and start. All right. So that is really how to do it. This is set on 25. If you want, you can track up to 1,000 keywords based on the plan you're on, and just always be in the know of where your books are ranking, because especially if you have a Kindle publishing empire where you are constantly ghostwriting books or like rejuvenating your content, right? You're adding in new books. That's a lot of competitors to track, a lot of books to track. You're going to want to go in with a tool like this, and you can quickly just at a glance in a few minutes every single day, see where you're ranking, and then either add something in if you feel like something's changed, if something's starting to pick up in trends, or you can go in and say, all right, this is, I don't know what's happening here, but I think maybe I found a better word. And you can go in, switch that information over, and quickly track how that's doing as well. So that is really a brief rundown of some things, some tools that you can utilize for KDP. And hopefully you guys go in and you take action, because you can always listen about it, but until you really go in and you try it, you won't know how the tools function. And I think trying things is the best way to learn. So I encourage you guys to go in, try this for your own books, and I wish you much success. All right.
Great. Thanks so much